Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into something that sounds maybe a bit technical, but it's really fundamental.
Right.
Spare parts, specifically for wastewater treatment plants.
Yeah. Seems mundane, but it's critical infrastructure we're talking about.
Exactly. We've got some info here from FRC Systems. They supply these parts. And, well, our mission today is to get why having spares on hand is so essential. Why it's not just nice to have.
It really isn't. And FRC Systems, in their documentation, they state it pretty clearly. They call spare parts absolutely vital. No ambiguity there.
Okay, vital. That's a strong claim. Let's unpack that. Why vital? What actually happens if a plant, doesn't have the part it needs right away?
Well, think about it. A key piece of equipment goes down. No replacement ready.
The whole process stops.
It certainly can, or at least a critical part of it. And these plants, they're designed for continuous operation. They have to be, really, to protect public health, the environment.
Right. You can't just pause treating wastewater.
Exactly. So downtime isn't just inconvenient. It can mean untreated discharge. That leads to environmental damage, maybe fines from regulators. Serious stuff.
Okay, so the cost of not having the part is potentially huge?
Way bigger than the cost of the part itself, usually. Having those parts ready enables, well, what the documents call proper spare parts management.
Which translates to
Keeping the whole system running at peak performance. It cuts down that costly downtime, ensures the plant operates reliably, day in, day out, no unexpected long delays.
Got it. So it's proactive maintenance, essentially, being prepared.
Precisely.
Now, FRC Systems, they mentioned something interesting. They supply parts not just for their own equipment, but they say they can quickly supply many replacement parts for our leading competitors' equipment, too.
That's a key point. It suggests they're aiming to be a broad supplier, not just limited to their own brand installs.
Yeah, they even put their contact info right there. P.O. Box 3147, Cumming, Georgia, and a phone number. So they're making it easy to reach out.
Makes sense if they want to be that go-to source.
So let's get specific. What kinds of parts are we talking about? You mentioned DAF systems earlier, dissolved air flotation.
Yep. For DAF, the list includes things like auger drives. Those are sort of like big screws for moving solids around.
Yeah.
Drain valves, pneumatic panel valves, flow meters, also filter regulators, recycle pumps, and then components for the skimmer system like sprockets, bearings, chains, hinge pins, blades, even motors.
That sounds like quite a few moving parts just for one type of system. What about belt press systems? They're for dewatering, right?
Correct. Dewatering sludge. And for those, you're looking at things like hog wheels, the actual filter belts themselves, which must take a beating.
I bet.
Gaskets, scraper blades, parts that are definitely subject to wear and tear in that kind of mechanical pressing process.
Makes sense. Okay, and rotary drum systems.
Rotary drums, often used for screening, need their own set of spares. Think chains, drive sprockets for those chains, pillow block bearings, and trunnion wheels. The wheels the big drum actually rotates on.
Right, keeping the drum itself turning smoothly. And the last one mentioned is CPI systems. Corrugated plate interceptors.
Yeah, CPI systems, they use plates to separate oils and solids. And interestingly, some parts overlap with the DF system.
Like what?
Things like auger drives again, and skimmer components, sprockets, bearings, chain, pins, motors. Seems those are common needs. But they also have unique parts like the plate packs themselves, which are central to how CPI works.
So seeing that overlap, like with auger drives or chains appearing in different system types, it really shows how certain mechanical components are just fundamental, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It underscores that these aren't just isolated machines. They're integrated systems relying on some core, shared mechanical principles and parts.
Which brings us back to the main point. Having these spares ready isn't just about, fixing things reactively. It's really a strategy.
A strategic approach, yeah, to ensure that this critical infrastructure wastewater treatment can actually operate continuously and effectively. It's about resilience.
Resilience, that's a good word for it. Minimizing those disruptions you mentioned.
Exactly. Keeping things flowing, literally.
It does make you think, though. Given how complex these plants are and all the different things that could potentially go wrong, stocking spare parts is obviously key. But what other kinds of, let's say, proactive measures might be just as vital for keeping these systems running reliably and preventing major headaches? Something for you to ponder.
Definitely something to consider.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.